Hi there, welcome to Sandbox Wyckoff Check. These are the key items that we'll cover as usual during the session. So let's start with the weekly chart of Sand. For Sand, even though it doesn't look like a couple of other gaming coins or meme coins that it's showing a strong U-turn signal, but indeed it has. So look at what happened over here when we discussed last week about Sand is potentially going through the transition from the panic sell period where whales starting to buy, and then we look at the volume, it's getting lower and lower, and the panic over stage seems to have kicked in. So what's not obvious over here is this U-turn. So we see some wicks from the bottom for 3 consecutive weeks, meaning the bulls kept buying in at those points. If I turn it to a line chart, you clearly see this U shape over here. So what to expect next, according to the Wyckoff method, is that if this is really the panic over stage of selling climax, what comes next is where the bulls set the accumulation cycle trading range top. We call that the automatic rally. So when we get into next week's candlesticks, in less than 6 hours, we may be seeing certain price surge challenging, going over the yellow key level of 12 cents 60 and challenging the 16 cents 14 green key level, or even higher to the blue levels. Alright, it all depends on how the capital would like to get into various projects. It's all based on their allocation. As of now, when we look at the daily chart, the price has finally moved towards the stronger half of the downtrend that started somewhere in late November. So the price dropped to the weaker side of the channel, not until like a month and a half later, it finally got back to the stronger side, just that it's currently finding rejection from the yellow key level of 12 cents 60s. You see the wick from the top for today's candle. But if positivity continues and capital starts to come in more, we will see the price to challenge this very first, this white dash line about 14 cents, and maybe eventually the 16 cents 14 green key level. So just focusing on the yellow and the white dash line over here, if the price continues to climb, depending on whether it's going to get rejection from the white dash line, and then the ceiling, obviously, of the downtrend, eventually getting near to end of January would be the time where we get a trend change confirmation, meaning the price is finally outside of the downtrend. However, if positivity comes in very quickly over the course of next week, then it can come to this point where this triangle points to the mid of January. So sometime before the 15th of Jan, this trend change confirmation would come in. So that's both the macro picture and the micro view of Sandbox. If you're interested to access these sessions 2 days earlier than the others, feel free to join the channel membership. Thank you.